Hello, cabezas de chorlito. Today, a little bird told me about the Magellanic Woodpecker.
Guess who?
Oh no, it's not that one, but pretty similar. This giant of the forest is endemic to Patagonia. The scientific name is Campephilus Magellanicus, which means campe, larvae, and philus, to like, or the one who likes larvae, and Magellanicus makes reference to the area, and of course the Portuguese sailor. It is nowadays the largest woodpecker. It measures 33 to 44 centimeters, which is basically like 2 tubes of Pringles put together. The conservation status is least concern. You can find it from Linares in Chile or Neuquén in Argentina to Tierra del Fuego in old and thick forests of the genus Nothofagus, cypress and monkey puzzle trees. He likes dead trees that are standing. It is a socially monogamous species that remains together even in the non-reproductive season, and it's very, very territorial. The nest is on average 8 meters above the ground, oval in shape with an average entrance diameter of 3.5 inches. Before laying eggs, the male widens the hole and leaves chips and sawdust to cover the bottom. It can take years to dig one of the burrows, and they build different cavities simultaneously. Oh, and after all this hard work, they only use the nest once. Its territory is estimated to be 250 acres. During courtship, they're not very demonstrative. Scientists have noticed a little knocking and drumming on the trunk of the trees, but that's basically it. Normally, they lay 2 eggs. They incubate for 20 days. Actually, Magellanic woodpeckers have one of the longest incubation periods of woodpeckers and the longest nesting period. The female will look after the nest and the eggs during the day, and the male will take the night shift. Woodpeckers is one of the 2 families that are known in which nocturnal incubation is performed by the male. If both eggs hatch, the second chick dies of starvation within the first 48 hours. If the clutch is lost, they don't try to replace it, and they actually wait until the following spring. Here's another big difference, since many species replace the clutch if they have enough time. Parental care is divided equally in the couple. The males are almost exclusively in charge of the sanitation of the nest, consisting of the elimination of the fecal sac and chopping off the walls of the nest to produce more chips and sawdust in order to cover the bottom. The females normally eat the fecal sac. What is the fecal sac? A flexible bag that contains the feces and that helps to remove them from the nest. There are many species that eat them for their protein and sugar content. So if you see during the nesting time a bird that is coming out of the nest with something on the beak that looks like a little white worm, there you have it. So watch out, don't stand under them. To feed the chick, they don't regurgitate. They actually bring the prey to the nest. At 40 days, the fletchings are ready to go. But it doesn't end there. Juveniles stay with their parents 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And I'm sure they're very cute at first, but then... Well, this gives plenty of time for them to learn how to find the larvae in the trees. But for all that time, they keep showing their begging behavior. Imagine the parents. The reproductive strategy is different than most birds because these giants increase their fitness by ensuring the survival of a single offspring every 2 years and not having clutches every year. In the non-reproductive season, family groups often share the cavities where they spend the night and forage very close to one another. They communicate through two tappings and a call. The adult couple is now free at last from the little one. But the juvenile doesn't go very far. It will stick around for a while, never close to the nest with eggs to visit the younger siblings. Magellanic woodpeckers can feed on barberries, eggs, lizards, and even bats have been recorded going into the nest. But one of the most striking characteristics of the woodpecker comes from its states from wood-eating insects that thrive on living or dead trees. The beetles in the beech trees, the table worm. They can locate a larvae inside a trunk. They peck hard until they find the gallery. Then they introduce their long tongue into it, which measures more than 4 times the length of the beak. If you want to know more about the amazing adaptations of the woodpecker, leave some comments in the box below. In the northern hemisphere, they act as pest control and they reduce 98% of the beetles that eat and attack the trees. We already lost the imperial and royal woodpecker, which makes the Magellanic the largest woodpecker on the planet. But it is also facing some challenges. Among some of the threats, we have loss of mature and dead forests, introduction of pine and eucalyptus, forest fires, ecosystem fragmentation. Due to their susceptibility to changes in their habitat, they're considered an indicator of biodiversity in forest ecosystems. But this is not all. It is considered a key element in the ecosystem because by digging in the trees, either to feed, sleep, or nest, they create favorable habitats for other species that use secondary cavities. For example, the ostrich parakeets, the flickers, the pygmy owls, thrushes, wrens. And many times they leave holes with sap that are used by the white-crested Elenias, the ostrich parakeets. Now, why is conservation so important? Because they are an umbrella academy, an umbrella species. What is an umbrella species?
A species for which successful conservation actions would also help preserve many other species within its biological community. And for this reason, it is considered an ideal flagship for environmental education.
So to sum up, in forests where you find woodpeckers, the amount of species increases and there are less beetles or things that eat the trees, and they build holes for other species, and someone has to tell her that that hairstyle is so 80s. What is up with her? She looks like Madonna or Cyndi Lauper from 1980 something. Thanks for watching this episode of Cabeza de Chorlito. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and share. Let me know in the comments below what other topics you would like me to cover in a future video. And remember our motto, birding for learning, learning for sharing, and sharing for caring.